What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Beastly Thoughts Live, the show where we talk about video games in a shortened format. This week, after the show, we wanted to make sure we got this out of there. We will be playing Destiny. We'll be live streaming Destiny. We'll be playing the Crota's End raid, probably on normal. And we will be filling our group up with people who are watching. So if you'd like to join us in Crota's End after the show, make sure you leave a comment with your gamer tag or your PSN ID because we'll be playing on the PlayStation. And the video is playing on the side here. So what has everybody been playing? How you guys doing? Beastly is on his way. He's not in the call yet, but not too nerdy. It's good to see you. Robbie, it's good to see you.
Yes, sir.
Not too nerdy. What have you been playing?
I've been playing, I would have said I've been playing this one game a lot, but we'll talk about it later. I didn't really play it for too long, but the Order I played a little bit, not by choice, but...
oh, you were forced to. Okay.
We'll get to that later. And that's pretty much it. I played Resident Evil again. I was trying to do a speed run for Resident Evil HD Remix, so I'm practicing on that, because I'm actually going to do a speed run and like stream it on Twitch and also actually like post it, like a legit speed run, not one of those glitches that they have where someone beat the game in 1 second, which I want to do a legit speed run. And I'm actually going to show you like all the tricks and glitches and stuff that I knew from like the original one that they never fixed, so you can skip certain chapters, like getting certain weapons earlier, stuff like that. So I'll do as much as I can to show you guys and do a speed run. So I've been practicing that a little bit.
When are you going to do that?
Retro games. No, what were you saying?
When are you going to do that?
I'm trying to do it the next 2 weeks. So hopefully, I do that. I'm definitely going to stream it, and then it'll probably be on like a Saturday or something, live stream, and then I'll post it like on a Sunday or Monday, just so everyone can see what it was. So pretty cool. I've been practicing a while. I'm doing legit, on the timing and stuff. But there's a couple more things I need practice on to skip certain like sections and stuff earlier.
Yeah.
So.
Well, make sure you let us know so we can watch live.
Yeah, definitely. You can watch me fail live or succeed, but more likely crash and burn. But it'll be a funny experience either way.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
It's on the extra hard. It's on the hardest mode too, so that's what makes it even more challenging. So
really,
yeah.
Cool.
Beastly finally showed up. How you doing? You had some Windows 8 problems. That's weird.
Yeah.
just
Windows 8 never
you guys
has
hear me now?
issues, guys. Yeah.
Robbie, what have you been
you
playing?
guys able to hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Robbie, what have you been playing this week?
So, of course, just like everybody else, I just got into the Order 1886, started playing it this morning. We're going to talk about that more later in the show, but I've also been playing a decent amount of Destiny this week. Of course, we can't keep Destiny out of the show. Let's be honest here.
Oh.
But, yeah, I've been playing some Destiny. I just started a second character as well, a hunter character, because I had some exotic chest armor waiting for in the vault for him. Like, I had Lucky Raspberry just sitting there. Yeah, and I had some legendary boots. So I'm like, I might as well just start a second character at this point. So I've been grinding him through, and, yeah, mostly been the Order and Destiny the last week.
What have you been doing to get your second character up and running? Have you been doing all bounties, or you just been running through missions? What have you been doing?
Been running through the missions and kind of doing bounties with it. I'm trying to pick up as many bounties as possible because I've just played these missions so many times. Like, I just want to get through it and get to 20 because then I can just give him all the legendary gear and then he'll be right up to stuff again.
It is stupendously helpful to do it with somebody else. So if you've got a friend, I would be willing to do it with you. But to go through those missions and do them on hard, you get more experience that way. And you have like a level 32 who's just like blasting anything anyway. You just burn through all those missions. It's actually really quick to get your character up to about level 17 or 18 just by doing the missions that way.
Yeah, nice. What I was actually doing is I just muted the game audio and I was just listening to music through headphones. Yeah. I was just doing that. It was actually a lot more fun. So.
That's how I run bounties basically all the time.
Yeah.
Were you listening like any epic music though, like like little AC/DC or something like that? Where you play?
I usually listen to heavy metal quite a bit. I was listening to a little bit, yeah. So and rock music and stuff like that.
So you get ready for battle. Listen to some heavy music over there.
Yeah, sure. It would set the mood.
I don't know, Robbie. You remind me. You seem like an Eye of the Tiger kind of guy. Is that on your playlist at all?
I have Eye of the Tiger on my playlist.
So do I, man.
That song is awesome. I have AC/DC as well.
See? A little Thunderstruck.
Oh my god, I love that song.
Yeah.
Beastly Gamer, what have you been up to this week?
I was playing Evolve and I was listening to Free Bird by Leonard Skinner the whole time. No, I throughout the week I spent a lot of time. Throughout the week I spent a lot of time playing Evolve. That game, even though it's got a lot of mixed reviews, I've kind of found what makes it fun for me, and it really works. And toward the end of the week, I got my Xbox One, and finally got to see what that UI was all about. Mm-hmm. And that's been a treat. Playing a little bit of a Halo Master Chief Collection, as long as you got 20 minutes in between each game, it works. So if you got the time to get into a lobby, it actually does work.
Still broken, correct? It's still broken?
Yes.
That matchmaker's broken, right?
It took my Xbox 10 hours to install it off the disc. So it took it about 10 hours. For some reason, it quit the installation and kept doing that over and over again. It would just stop installing it and go to something else like YouTube or Netflix. I was like, what's going on? So it took till about 11:30 last night for it to actually install. I stayed up for 2 or 3 hours playing it. Yeah, it's still broke. I would have figured by now that they would have had that nailed down. Kind of like the way they did with The Last of Us Remastered. At first, The Last of Us Remastered had really, really just terrible party times, for you to get into an online match. This here is the worst. I mean, really bad. So yeah, I've been playing that. I've also been playing a little bit of The Order 1886. I've got maybe about 4.5 hours in on that. I got a couple other games now that I'm really anxious to play. I got Dragon Age, Dying Light, Shadows of Mordor, and so it's going to be a pretty exciting week or two.
Yeah, those are good games.
And of course, when I got my new Xbox, I got both Assassin's Creed games, and I'm not really a big fan on that, so I don't know what I'm going to do with those codes. But there's a lot of games, and I'm still playing Smash Brothers. I'm still trying to sneak in a game of The Last of Us every now and then. I still think Evolve is really fun, and so that's what I've been doing this week, and it's been a hell of a ride. So looking forward to next week.
New console with a bunch of new games. That's ambitious.
Yeah. It's an exciting time, but then you get into that UI, it's like, nope, this sucks.
Yeah.
Let me just say this. For the last year, we've talked about this, and with someone who had limited experience with an Xbox One, of course, I'd see it over a friend's house or inside of a store. But now to actually have it and see just how cumbersome that UI is compared to the PlayStation 4, the games might be comparable. The actual graphics and the actual gameplay of each game across consoles might be really close. But when it comes to those UIs, PS4 wins by a landslide, probably the same way that Xbox Live wins by a landslide versus the PlayStation Network. But that UI is just, oh my God, it took me 10 minutes just to figure out how to find where my games were and how to turn off the console. It was insane. Love you, Xbox. But I did support our troops by getting the Support Our Troops Xbox One controller. So
that is a cool looking controller. What do you think about the controller? That's your first experience with the Xbox One controller.
I think that it feels similar to the Xbox 360 controller, but it feels a little bit tighter, and all this here feels very different to me compared to the Xbox 360.
The damn bumpers.
Yeah, I think that the 360 overall is a better controller. I haven't given enough playtime with it though, so I mean, after extended use, I'll be able to say. But I'm hoping that the analog nubs here are a little bit better than the PS4s.
Well, they last longer, seemingly. However, I don't like the resistance or the lack thereof on them. They're too floppy for me.
Too loose. Yep.
Yeah, too narrow. Yeah, as well. Yeah.
I noticed that rotation on it is just weird, and the bumpers. Other than that, everything's good. But you're coming from like a controller that was flawless to that. That's why it seems like even more critical, because you're talking about the best controllers ever made. It's going to that, and just now the PS4, the DualShock 4 feels like that's the best controller ever made. Now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But if you're looking at the Xbox 360 compared to DualShock 4, I think that's really close to each other. It's just your preference. But like the Xbox One, man, that bumper and the turn radius is just weird to me. So
yeah.
That UI.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I was just going to say that UI seems like it's going to be really hard to get over. I looked
hopefully
into
they
it
improve that as they go.
I mean, they're supposed to have some kind of Windows 10 upgradability with that UI, correct? Because as of right now, you really can't change much on it other than snapping.
Yeah,
stuff
you
over
can change
to
the
side.
color schemes and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
in the order
Took 20
everything's
minutes
placed
to do
in.
that.
And what I did is everything that I want to be accessible, I just pin to that bar over on the far left.
That helps.
That's
But now that thing is so full, it's getting hard to kind of find what I want. So I've been playing a little bit of Evolve. I'm not enjoying that game when I'm not playing with friends, though. So I pretty much put that game down. That game is basically exactly what I thought it was going to be. A ton of fun when I know the people I'm playing with. No fun at all with random group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I've been playing The Order 1886, and I think that game is pretty fly. We'll talk about that later. I've been playing Destiny. The Iron Banner event was this week, and I played a lot of multiplayer Iron Banner this week. I actually got to level 5 in the Iron Banner, earned the scout rifle, I think it's called Gellian's Demise. I can't remember what it's called. But it's basically like a cross between a hand cannon. It's got the power of a hand cannon, but the stability of a scout rifle. And it's got Firefly, so things blow up real nice. It's really a nice gun. And I've been doing some raiding in Destiny. What else? Oh, and I got back to Dragon Age a little bit, which, man, that game is a time suck, and I just don't have time for it, and that makes me upset.
That's it. I'm telling you, it's a good game, Brian.
It is. It's great. I love the game. I love it. But I think I'll be playing it for about 5 years.
Approximately 5 years.
I heard that game can take up to 100 hours to beat, right?
There's multiple people who've told me they've already put 100 hours in and they're still working on it.
I'm at
I've heard
100.
it's more.
I'm at 130. I didn't beat the game yet. But then again, I haven't been trying to beat the game, so I've been doing other things, side quests. So I'm at 130 hours. I don't feel the need to finish the game yet, but I can continue playing as much as I want to.
So it really does have that much fresh content. It's not like just fetch quests and stuff. It's just real content that keeps you going for that long.
I thought some of it might be repetitive, and then when I think that there's new things that I never even tried before, new quests, it's completely different. So there's a lot of different unique things to do in that game, and it's I'm sure you could beat it way quicker than I'm playing it now. But the thing is, if you really stretch it out, if you really want to level up your character, if you really want to do things, then you can play for a long time. So
9 to 5 Gamers was talking about it with me, and he said he doesn't want to finish it. He's kind of stretching it out as long as it can go. Because it's fun, you just once it's over, it's gonna be sad, Yeah. That game is fantastic.
Did he by chance? Did he tell you how many hours he had put into it at that point?
Well over 100. I can't. And that was a couple of weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago that we talked about it. So.
Brian, you've been playing on the PS4
yes.
version? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it looks great.
That's been my conundrum.
The world, it reminds me of when I played Fallout 3, because the world is just interesting, and I want to spend more time in it. And I don't normally like kind of that Dungeons and Dragon-y type of setup. It's not my thing. Like swords and sorcery is not usually my thing, but that world is built really well.
Briar, please don't use F-bombs on this podcast unless it's Fallout 4. Thanks.
Those kind of bombs.
During the pre-show, that's what Robbie and I kind of talked about briefly, that I have this conundrum with all these games, and I'm trying to place them where they need to be so that I can effectively play them. That's why I picked The Order 1886 to play first, because I knew that was going to be a shorter experience, something I could digest a little bit faster. My wife wanted to get right into Dragon Age. I told her, well, see you later. Won't see you for a couple of weeks. So she's back there right now playing The Order.
Yeah.
And then I want to go to Shadows of Mordor, and then I'm thinking Dying Light, and then I'm thinking Dragon Age.
You're going to be playing these games until next September.
Until the end of time.
Bloodborne's next. I'm really anxious to get that.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you just talked about The Order 1886.
Yeah, let's jump into that, because we got some different opinions. We haven't really fleshed out what we all think about it, but I know that it's going to be an argument. So let's just jump right into it. Not too nerdy. I'm pretty sure you're pretty pissed about how short this game is.
I'm gonna start from the beginning. Okay, this game, the whole thing was playing at a friend's house. I decided that he got the game. I was about to get the game, and I said, you know what? I'm not gonna bother getting this game. It's under 10 hours. So let's play. I'm gonna go play there because if we beat the game before I leave, then obviously it was under 10 hours. I wasn't gonna stay at his house for 10 hours. We beat the game together. 2 people, okay, that never played the game before. 6 hours and 20 minutes. Like, literally, we timed it. It was 6 hours and 20 minutes. We beat the game on hard. 2 people, okay? That game has no replayability whatsoever on it. Nothing. Nothing. No co-op. No multiplayer. There's no reason to go back. And even if you go back to get the Platinum Trophy, like, that's the only motivation to go back. You know, obviously, like, it's been compared to Infamous Second Son, how people said that game just died. You know, after you're done, you're done. But at least Infamous Second Son had you go back and you could do different choices to play your good karma, bad karma, whatever it was, you could do something and you have a different experience playing the game. There's different outcomes, there's different things that goes on. This game has no replayability. Now, the game itself looks amazing. The most amazing looking game on a PS4. It's comparable to Rise. I think it looks better than Rise. That's my opinion. I think it looks better than Rise. But, like, I would say, like, if you look at it, it is the best looking game that I've seen in a long time. Like, I don't even remember the last game I saw that looked that good. It looked so detailed. It looked good. I like little things like the transition from you have it from a cutscene, smooth transition into you're playing the game already. That was brilliant. You know, that would just make you feel like you're part of the story. The story was not bad at all. I kind of liked it. The gameplay was pretty good. You know, it wasn't the best. You know, they didn't add anything new to a third-person shooter, but they didn't take away anything, you know.
No, it felt good. Like, the shooting is good. It feels kind of like a Gears of War type.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, it was going to be Gears of War. I already knew about this. The weapons were awesome. There's different types of weapons that you've never seen before. I thought that's cool. But there was never a point where you had anything to progress with. There was no progression. There's no character development. You didn't have anything to do. And the time length of the game was what really killed this. And the reason why I'm so pissed off about the game being so short is because when you are a developer, when you're in the process of creating a game, while you're thinking of the game, you have a goal, set goal of how long you want the game to be. That means that they decided that it was okay for this game to be this short, knowing that they had no multiplayer, knowing that they had no co-op, knowing that they're in this time period now where people care about the money that they spend and how much time they get to play. Now, it's different for us, right? A lot of us, you know, we have real jobs. You know, a lot of us are working a lot, so we don't have that much time to play a game. So people like us, it'll be kind of good. You know, we can play the game and you know, enjoy it for what it is. But the majority of people that play games and stuff like that, they want a game that they can play for a long time. Like you said before with the Dragon Age, that you could play that forever. You never want it to end. This game, you can't do that. There's no linear. Like, it's no open world. It's all linear. You're going where they want you to go. It felt like a Call of Duty game, and it's too short. That's it. Like, I don't even care if it was a $40 game. It was too short. Like, it was too short of a game. But the thing that sucks is that it was good. Like, it was pretty damn good. If this was a longer game and they made the story a decent length story, this would have been a good game with all the weapons and everything. And I think they blew it, to be honest with you. They blew it with the time length of the game because everything that was there looked pretty damn good.
Yeah, I gotta agree with you there, Hector. I think the thing we can definitely talk about the order is they nailed the setting for the game. Like, it feels like 19th century London. You know, the gameplay, like, the visuals are beautiful. The world is fully realized. Like, it looks amazing.
Oh, we lost Robbie there.
Well, I'll finish that. It looks amazing. No, I actually have a different point of view on the order than Hector does. I've been playing the game for about four and a half hours.
So you're almost done.
The game that I've been playing. I'm on chapter 10. I just started chapter 10.
Okay.
And I've enjoyed it from beginning to where I am now. And if the game goes on for another 2 or 3 hours, that's just what it is. I think that when they had this game in mind, when they were actually developing this game, they wanted to give us the cinematic experience that people wanted out of games like Beyond Two Souls, that people wanted out of Heavy Rain. They wanted a cinematic experience, and when those games came out, people really complained. I wanted to be able to control the game more. I wanted to be able to do more in the world rather than just walk around and pick up a cup. And so I think that they've actually weaved a very believable world. Like Robbie said before he was rudely interrupted by himself, the atmosphere of this game is phenomenal. The characters seem very, very well grounded and believable. The canon, their own new canon seems very mysterious and creepy. And I'm not going to spoil anything for people who are playing the game, but it's really an intriguing story, especially once you get a little bit further in, 2 or 3 hours in, I guess. But what I've played so far, I don't have any qualms with it, and I feel like if it ended in another 2 or 3 hours, that I got an epic movie that I got to play, and then I get to play it over and over again. Now, I probably won't play it over and over again, like I didn't play Infamous Second Son over again, but while I'm in the moment right now, I'm really experiencing it, and I'm really enjoying it, and I think it's something new and something fresh. They may not have nailed everything, but what they did get right, they did it better than everybody else. They got a better atmosphere. They have, hands down, better graphics than most any developer out there.
It does. It really does.
It looks unbelievable. I've actually caught myself numerous times looking at the environment, and I think that's why they allow the character.
Best looking penis I've seen in a game.
Yeah,
it was unreal. Yeah, I mean, this game
I was like, what is this?
Full frontal male nudity.
There's one thing I didn't want to see in HD. You know what I mean? I'm like, you know what? I don't need to see 1080p. 1080 penis is not needed.
1080 penis.
But what they've done, I think they've done extremely well. I think that once this game comes to an end, that people who play it and enjoy it for what I think they intended it to be are going to be hungry for more of it. And that's when they can actually improve on this. It's like when Titanfall came out. A lot of people complained because it lacked content. And but what they did do right, they did right. And so a lot of people are anxious and excited for the next Titanfall because they have an opportunity to expand on it. But for me, this game so far has been a good experience. I haven't really been focusing on the time. I've been focusing on the atmosphere. And I've been trying to submerge myself in this world that they want me to believe in. And it's been a hell of a ride for these last 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, so what this game's got is it's got a really cool shooting mechanic. It's got a really cool story. It's a really good-looking game. To me, it's got a bunch of stuff that I am really interested in. The length of the game, to me, not really a down... it's not really a downvote for me because it's okay for a 6 or an 8 or a 10-hour game every once in a while to come out. It doesn't really bother me. It's a small experience that I can kind of sink my teeth into for a short time and then move on to the next thing. Hopefully, it's like it's got emotional impact or it's got something that's really going to bring it home for me. What it is bringing is like a really cool story with really cool graphics. If it only lasts 6 hours, not every game has to be 60 hours or 100 hours. Or not every game has to have a multiplayer component that I'm going to sink a year into. And that's okay. But, and I think this is going to bring us into our next conversation, there is a value proposition to a video game. And my guess is that we're going to have to see video game prices go up because we're going to start seeing either smaller experiences like this for $60, or we're going to start seeing more evolved type experiences where they put out the game, but then they have to try and make some more money by selling you more items kind of in the periphery or more pieces of real content like the DLC for Destiny, is because $60 is just not enough to finance like a huge game. It's just not going to cut it anymore because it's too labor intensive now.
The thing is, Briar, this is something that a lot of people don't think about. I don't know if Hector thought about it either. When you say that a game that comes out like The Order isn't worth $60, I heard a lot of people say $40. And it would be great in a perfect world for this game to come out at $40. But if developers start pricing games based on the length, how much would you have paid for Dragon Age? How much would you have paid for Call of Duty? How much would you pay for a game that lasts for 100 hours versus a game that lasts for 10 hours? I mean, and that's where you've got to come to some form of consensus.
Is that our only criteria? Is how long a game lasts? The length of a game is how much value it has?
But what about the quality of those hours as well? Because that's one of the things about The Order.
I think this game is giving you high quality 6 hours.
But the problem is this is like they purposely chose this is the thing I'm saying, that when you are developing in the lifespan of a game, like when you're developing in the beginning stages, your goal, they're saying from the beginning that they were okay with that timeline, no matter what they thought about the people that they're trying to sell the game to. And that's why majority of the people, I know some of us feel different. Some of us like feel that, you know, we have so many games. We make videos on YouTube. You know, we play so many different games. So games like this are welcome because we can move on to the next game and show someone else some other content. We could try it ourselves, something else. But majority of people that only have enough money to buy one game a month, maybe
this is not the game that you should be buying.
This is not. That's why, and it's not fair to them that they chose to do this. There's no replay value. They could have added something else to it that will make you want to play the game again. There's nothing in there that does that. That's what I'm trying to say. When you said that this is a game you'll play over and over again, man, I was about to say right, but anyway, Beastly. When you say this is a game you'll play over and over again because of like the scenario, like the where the time period it's in and all that other stuff. There's a game Bloodborne that's coming out. It's almost exactly the exact same setting. Like it's almost the exact same type of setting, and if that game might be plenty of hours till you beat the game. So like the way it looks is like they chose to do that in their development stage. And they said, you know what, we're going to make it this time period, knowing that they had nothing else to give to people. That is just wrong. And I'm not saying the lower price.
I disagree. I think it's okay for consumers to have a choice. For somebody like me, you know, I'm not going to buy one game this month, but I do, you know, I'm okay with having, you know, one game that offers, you know, like a really small story but a really concise story, and it's over quickly. That doesn't bother me as long as it's something really good. It's like going to a movie. I don't need to see every movie. Doesn't have to be 3 hours for me to enjoy it. In fact, I would prefer if every movie was 2 hours or under, unless you had a real reason for going over 2 hours. Because otherwise,
and trust me, BriarRabbit, he can speak on movies because he sees movies every fucking week. So
I do.
But this is my thing now, right? If you go to a movie theater, what's the average price now, Briar, if you go to the theater to see one movie?
It could be anywhere. It really ranges between the time you go, but like average ticket price probably between $8 and $13.
I think it's like 10.
All right, so let's just say $10, right?
Yeah,
so $10 for a 2-hour experience or an hour and a half experience. This game is the length of 4 movies, so that's $40 right there. It's like you get to play an epic movie that's four movies long. That's not worth $60 to me. It is, especially when it's presented in such a fashion. It's spared no expense.
You have to go towards relevance, though. It's when you have to make it relevant towards something else that's common. You know, that's like relatively, like you're looking at other games. The other game time length. If you're looking at the average game time length, that is not the average game time length. Why is it the average game price? That's right there what you have to look at. There's no.
But I disagree with the only value in a game is how much time it takes you.
It's not just that. You can have a great story. You can have a great story in that short amount of time. But you're talking about the money it costs. Like you're talking about the cost effectiveness of what they use to make the game and that time period, like the amount of money that they put into the game and all the stuff, the content that they gave you. I feel like they cheated people out of what they could have gave them. And that's.
I disagree.
I'm just saying from my perspective, like that doesn't sit well with me as a developer. I hate that. I would fight. I would get fired over that. If I would, you're telling me we have to make a game that's 6 hours long and we're going to charge people $10 per hour.
And that 6 hours better be fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's the thing.
And it wasn't.
That 6 hours better be Fallout 3 awesome.
But that's what I'm saying. It wasn't The Last of Us storytelling either. It was still pretty cool, but it was not The Last of Us storytelling. So it wasn't even like it was the best story either. So I don't know. That's opinion at that point. So.
Yeah, I think I had something to put in here too, Hector. Like you consider how I think a lot of developers are pressured to put enough content in a game to justify $60, right? Like you see all these side quests and people making these open world games to try and bump up the value proposition, right? Because you're paying $60. That's a lot for one game. So they're trying to basically put more content into the game, even if that content isn't meaningful or not. It doesn't matter because they're extending the length of the game. They're putting more content in there. But Ready at Dawn said, you know what? We have a great 8-hour single-player campaign. This is what the game is. This is what we're going to stick with, and we believe it's worth it. And I don't know if it's worth $60 necessarily, but I think the game is really good. And if you have the money, I'd say maybe wait a little bit, but I'd say it's a really good game overall. It's not worth $60, but it's a great game.
If the game looks really good, you just wait too. It's not like there's a multiplayer component that you have to like get in on. You know, just wait a little bit. It'll be discounted I
You
bet
can
relatively
absolutely
soon.
wait for a game like this and play. Yeah, 6 months down the line, I'd say definitely do that.
If there's gonna be a part 2, I would not be surprised. This kills the studio. This game.
I hope not.
Like
I don't think it
would
will.
not be
But see,
surprised.
the thing is,
like
I don't know exactly who it was. I'm remembering a quote, but I don't remember which guy at Ready at Dawn actually said it. But they actually came out and said that they were going for quality over quantity, and I really do understand that after playing this game. Journey came out a couple of years ago, and it got Game of the Year across many different formats, and it was an awesome experience that was relatively inexpensive, and it only lasted 2 hours. And it was a very emotional experience, and a lot of you guys played that game, and it was really awesome. Now, if Ready at Dawn put the same effort into this game that they maybe put into Journey, as far as the graphical fidelity, as far as character development, and they charge you $60, that would be more of an understanding, argument for me that you shouldn't charge $60 for those type of graphics or that kind of story and that kind of time length. But they really went all out with this game. They broke barriers that other developers have not been able to break. When you see this game actually running, you're like, okay, this is something different. It feels different. It looks different compared to everything else that's out. So I think that the quality that they speak of is, hey, we're giving you something that is going to be groundbreaking, that you're not going to see on every other console, that you're not even going to see on the PS4 for a long time. And this is your entry into this new age of gaming. And I think that for 8 hours, what they presented here is really acceptable. I'm very pleased with what I played so far.
Yeah,
just saying, they knew for a fact that like they didn't feel comfortable with the timeline. That's the reason why that they didn't allow people reviews or anything to come out the night before. People were forgetting that part. They knew for a fact the time will be an issue. If you know that the time's going to be an issue beforehand, why did you do it? They knew from the start. That's the reason why they didn't want reviews or anything to go out until the night before. And that's why all the reviews came out the day before, which they knew for a fact that people will get upset with the timeline. That's why they defended it right away. That even they knew that the time will be a factor. And that's pretty bad when you know what someone's really not going to like about the game before you even put it out. Then it's not worth putting out yet.
Let me ask you a question, Hector, real quick, Hector, because I know you are a creative person. You work in this field, and you have a lot of knowledge and experience when it comes to it. Say, for instance, you want to tell a story. You want to create a game that tells this story, and by the time that you fine-tune it, the story only lasts 8 hours. What do you do to stretch it out to 15? Do you just add, fetch quests? Do you just put more shooting galleries up, or do you tell a concise story that's confined to 8 hours and it feels complete?
You said that's a story, correct? Now, what if I had another game mode or something else that told a different story, that told a story that you didn't see in my story? That's the thing. When you have a storyline, there's different multiple paths of story before they finalize the one story. And that's what I'm saying. They knew ahead of time what they were doing before they chose that. They could have done other things and used other ideas, but they chose the one that they did. They knew the timeline wasn't right because that's why they didn't allow people to do reviews to the night before. They knew exactly what they were doing. That's why I think they screwed up on. Now, I'm not saying the price should have went down. I'm saying they should have added something to make you want to play a game again.
Something like a new game plus mode, like
something.
All the weapons you want to use whenever you want to use them, or like a terribly hard difficulty. Or
I feel like they wasted the weapons, right, Briar? Didn't you like the weapons that they introduced?
Yeah. They were cool.
That's the thing that, I felt they could have done so much more with the weapons. What if you could have upgraded your weapons? You could have did something to make it look pretty cool or interesting. They chose to ignore all that.
Yeah. That's where I have something else to put in too about like you were saying, how it sounds like they fell short of their ambition with these weapons, right? Like they could have done more with it. I feel like this game in general, it kind of falls short because when I first played it, there's all these buildings and people around, like you can walk around, you can't even interact with any of them, you can't do anything. Like it feels like there's just not enough content in this game. I felt like it needs to have more interaction in the actual world itself because the world that they've built is really interesting and it's fully realized, but there's nothing going on. It's like the most amazing looking but boring, there's just nothing going on in the world.
I think that's where we're always gonna have a difference here, is that I'm okay with a shorter length game if it has compelling content in it. I don't have unlimited time to play video games, so every once in a while it's nice to burn through a complete story in 6 hours. That's how I feel about movies too. I don't have 3 hours to watch every movie. I don't feel like every movie needs to be 3 hours. Some movies, can be an hour and a half. Can you imagine if they made, I don't know, what's a good movie that came out lately? Can you imagine if they made Guardians of the Galaxy a 3.5 hour movie? I bet it wouldn't have been as fucking good.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I kind of like that movie.
It was pretty good.
That would have been filler content, and then it would have just devalued it. Like, it wouldn't have been worth it. It's longer, but it's just not as good because they put too much in it.
I agree with you, Briar, because that's why I like the Telltale games. I sit down and go through them. Like, each episode is great, but then again, you look at the value of it. It's $5.
And you can replay a Telltale game.
Yeah, and you can replace so many different branches, and it's $5. So that's why I look at this, and I'm like, you're talking about 3 episodes of Telltale games. This is the length of a AAA game. That's the only thing that kills me. But
did anybody see that PlayStation Network has a sale on the Telltale stuff?
Yeah.
It's
like something like that too. The Telltale Games collection.
Yeah, it's like $50 for like every one of them.
Yeah, it's on the PS4 now, right?
Yeah.
That's why. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, let's move on. We're not going to agree on this, but I think we've had a good discussion about it.
That was good.
Certainly.
All right, can we talk about Evolve real quick?
Yes.
Evolve,
sure.
We're now 2 weeks after launch. You guys still playing it? What do you guys think about it? Speaking of content, is there enough content there?
I have been playing Evolve. I've been still enjoying it. Like, a lot of people, we always go back to, does this game have enough content to justify $60, right? Like, regardless of the experiences you have with friends and playing with people you know, is the actual core content of the game enough for a $60 price? And it's such a different game playing with friends compared to without friends, because
it is.
I feel like this game is like a 6 or a 7. Like, it's like a 7 out of 10. Like, it's not bad when you're playing by yourself, but when you're playing with friends, it's like an 8 or a 9. Like, it's so hard to summarize Evolve because it's like a different experience based on the friends you're playing with and what's going on in the game. Like, it's just so hard to summarize that game.
I find it. Well, there's some roadblocks in that game that really frustrate me. Like the character progression, like trying to unlock the next character, and you have to use abilities that you don't necessarily want to use, but you use them anyway. And you're like dragging your team back because you're throwing out these stupid mines that don't do dick anyway. Like stuff like that. It's a little bit frustrating. And the fact that they put. Like, I've got to progress to a certain point with this monster to unlock the next monster, or with this hunter to unlock the next hunter. I find that really frustrating. And the fact that communication is so important when you're on the hunting team, almost it makes it not a fun game when I'm playing with random people, because half of them don't have microphones, half of them are talking about sandwiches with their mother. It's like... Yeah. I've tried to be the leader. Okay, guys, let's do this, let's do that, let's do this, and sometimes it works, but that game to me is only fun with friends.
Brian, perfect example. They're the monsters in the cave, and I'm like, all right, guys, this is what we're gonna do. We all split up. We're gonna go trap them in the cave. Trap them in the cave. And I'm like, all right, guys, turn around. They're gone already.
Yeah.
They scramble. And then I turn back around, they're dead, and I have to revive them. Like, are you kidding me? I said trap them in the cave, not die in the cave. Like, they just did whatever they want to do, and that's because I didn't know them personally, you know what I mean? So just like, oh my god.
Yeah. This game in a month might be different. After kind of like the people who are just casually just checking it out are gone, and the people who really like it are still there. This game may be completely different.
Well, plus there's going to be new maps and new modes coming, like Turtle Rock confirmed that every map for the game and every mode is going to be free. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's all free stuff.
So my thoughts on it is to revisit it in the future. Like, we'll check out the new maps and the new modes, and if we want to, you can spend your money on the season pass or buy the new monsters, hunters, whatever you like. But those core modes and maps are going to be there. They're going to be free for everyone because they don't want the community getting cut off. Like with a lot of these games, that you have the map packs. So, yeah.
These are my thoughts on Evolve. I agree totally with BriarRabbit there. My one issue that I have with Evolve is the level up system, the level of unlocking things, upgrading to new monsters and new hunters. I do feel like they have impeded the progress of the game by making you go and do things that you wouldn't necessarily do. I think that it should be on a point system unlock, rather than you got to use all these, you got to try all this. That's my one issue with the game.
Like total points earned or like total time played, Beastly?
Yeah, I think that would work. I think that maybe a future patch or update would actually work and make that more streamlined. I've heard a lot of people complain about 3 monsters and 12 hunters. I think that the monsters and hunters aren't really an issue. The game is one of the most diverse games I've seen when it comes to the multiplayer arena. When I first played the beta, I thought that the hunters were all just different skins of the same player.
No, yeah.
And they all had the same abilities. And as I started to play the actual full retail release, I started to understand that all hunters were completely different. They all were in the same class, which means their job was the same, but they had different ways of doing it. Each hunter did. And these three monsters are totally different. And so for me, the amount of content really does stand up. And I see me, I choose one particular monster, or I try to choose one or two particular hunters because I like that particular playstyle. But if you really want to, delve deep into this world, you can play with so many different types of players. No two games will ever end the same way. Mm-hmm. These maps are huge. I mean, they make Battlefield look like nothing. They're giant, huge maps. And there's so much stuff that's going on, so many different avenues of getting to the hunters and getting to the monster. You can use your environment to your advantage. It's just, to me, it's a really fun game. It's a thinking man's game. Depending on what your role is, if you're a monster versus a hunter. If I'm a monster, I'll go and aggravate a bunch of giant monsters, and I'll stay around them and let the humans trap me with these monsters. Yeah. A lot of people don't do that. But all these monsters are aggro, and they're real pissed off because I've swiped 3 or 4 of them. So as soon as they see the hunters jump in, they go ape shit for the hunters. If I'm a hunter and maybe a medic, I'll try my best to tranquilize the monster as far away as possible, slow him down. It's just so much stuff that you can do. I think the game's great. I don't know how much of it I'm going to be playing this year because there's a lot of stuff to play, but for what I've played, the time I've spent with it, I'm really pleased, and I think that $60 is a good value.
Yeah.
Me too. I agree with that.
I don't know about the value. I'm not sure. It's just so dependent on playing with people.
I feel like I've gotten my $60 worth at this point. I know I'm gonna play that game. Like I feel like I go back to it a couple times. I'll play like a match or two as the monster and in the morning, and then I'll be like, yeah, I've got my fix for today, and I'm good. Like that's a fun experience. So and then I just put it away and play something else, and that's fine.
I agree, Robbie. I'm the same way. I'll just go, in the middle of the day. I get home at night. Okay, I'll play a couple, 2 or 3 games. Bam, I'm good.
Yeah. Try and then that's your fix, and then you just play it whenever you feel like. I don't feel pressured to play that game all the time because I already feel like I've gotten my value's worth for it. So I'm good.
I do look for you guys in the morning.
You never got the PlayStation version?
No, I got the PC version, but I got for cheaper price. That's why I'm like, I don't really mind. I paid $27 for it. Well, you guys pay $60. I don't think it's worth $60, but for $20, I can't complain. So I'll tell you.
Think it's worth $20? You think it's worth the $20 you spent?
Without a doubt.
It's worth $20.
I think any game is worth. Any game, even if it's a screw up, a complete failure, I would laugh and say it's still worth $20. I wouldn't mind paying $20, but once it's $60 and I wasted my money, that's when I started to get pissed. But $20 is like,
I bought Shadows of Mordor for less than $30 from PlayStation Network, and I bought Dragon Age for I think $36.
That's great.
When I saw those deals, I said, "Hell yeah, I'm gonna go and pick those up for the price of one full game."
Speaking of PlayStation, we got what's that one game called? I'm not too sure what it's called. The one that's rumored, that's gonna come out soon. It's been 40 years in development.
Oh, Last Guardian.
Oh, the Last Guardian.
40 years of development. I'm like, ding! I know it's.
So the Last Guardian's trademark got abandoned again. I swear to God, we went over the story this time last year. Did they forget 2 years in a row?
No, that's good though. I like that. You know why? Because that means it's definitely they're going to show it E3 without a doubt. Okay, everyone's like, oh, they dropped. They're not going to make the game anymore. And then bam, E3 comes, and they're going to announce the game.
Yeah, I think the thing with The Last Guardian 2, no matter when Sony shows it, it's going to be huge because we haven't seen it in forever. As soon as that game comes out, it's going to be like, holy crap.
It's going to be a 4-hour game at $70.
Yeah, because they want the voice. See, the problem was they want the voice actor to actually age as time went on in the game, so that's what it was.
It's like Boyhood.
It was all planned.
Oh, shit.
You guys think Last Guardian's coming this year, or when can we expect it?
Yeah, that's what I want to ask Hector. Hector just said E3. Is that your prediction, Hector? E3?
I think, E3 2008. I think it's coming out. Oh,
You're
You're a little late on that.
I don't know, the coin flip. I would say now that they abandoned the name, it's gonna come with a different name. You know, The Last Guardians with an S, something like that, just to throw everyone off. I
think you're actually right on that. At this point, they probably would want to just abandon that controversy. They just re-announce it with a different title, and here you go. It would be the same game, just different title.
Like, they're just messing with us. It's really God of War that's coming out.
That's the subtitle for the next God of War game?
Yeah.
You know, Team Ego has been heavily scrutinized in the media now for years. This game's been in development for over 9 years, and they've heard every negative comment on the internet for years about, you know, this game being delayed and why it's taking so long, and all these other games that come out since the Shadow of the Colossus game. I would keep that name just because they've been fighting this war for so long. Why abandon it at the last second? Just
look how it worked out for Duke Nukem.
Yeah. I'll put it this way, guys. If I was getting paid for 9 years, like for a game, I would keep delaying it too, just so I could get paid for more.
That's so cheap.
I'm just saying.
A really good gig over here.
Every week, delayed. Sorry, guys. Next year, maybe.
But after they were delayed, Sony, I can't see our notes, but I'm ad-libbing here. Sony did come out and confirm that the game is still in development.
Yep, they did.
So that was something, I guess, to me, I don't think Sony would have had to do that because of the whole debacle last year when IGN came out and stated that The Last Guardian was, you know, abandoned.
Yeah.
And then immediately Sony came out and said, hey, no, this game is it's still being made, it's still in development. So I don't think Sony would have had
evidence
to.
Is there too, because they're so quick to get on it. They're like, no, Last Guardian's still in development. Like, it's not canceled. Like, they're quick to get on it. Sony isn't like hesitating to say it. Like, they're like, it's in development. It is. So.
Yeah. Well, Shuya Yoshida has a very good relationship with his consumers, so he can just tweet something out, bam, or just do an interview. He lets people know, so he's a really good
It's
guy.
like a rock star now. People love him.
Yeah, he is. IGN turned him into an animal. Yeah.
All right, so you guys ready to pull those plastic instruments out of your closet for once that you've got laying around?
No, I am not.
Because
I don't even know where they are.
Yeah, because rumors suggest this week, this hasn't been confirmed, but Harmonix is developing a new Rock Band game for PS4 and Xbox One. That's pretty interesting because we haven't seen that for a long time.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of that? Well, how would this even happen?
I feel like that time is come and gone. That was popular. That was really popular for a while there. I mean, I was going to parties with people who didn't even play games, and they had that thing set up. I was going to bars, and they had that set up.
Yeah, my parents love Guitar Hero and stuff, and they don't play video games. So,
but I feel like that kind of time is come and gone. It's hard to imagine they're going to rekindle that, especially if they expect people to buy all new instruments.
But what if the timing's been long enough and they just do it once? Like every couple of years there will be new instruments or whatever, like every 2 to 3 years. What if they balance it out more like that instead of oversaturating and having to use new instruments every time?
Are they going to have a keytar? I'm not buying it unless they give me a keytar.
Well, I think that it'll definitely sell. I think that for us the time has come and gone, but since that era, there have been a lot of gamers who've gotten older and they play their guitars and they play their drums and they like to sing and do karaoke, and they're at that age that we were when this was really big. I remember the first time I walked into a Best Buy and I saw it. I was like, "Holy shit, is this real?" I sat down with that drums. I felt like, man, I'm back in Africa. And so I think that there is. I think there is a new generation of gamers who might appreciate that. But like Briar said, for me and for him and probably for Hector, that time has come and gone because it'll just be a graphical enhance. The instruments will still be last gen. So what are they going to do to make these the instruments?
Yeah,
virtual reality. You're
playing Rocksmith. What I find more interesting is something like Rocksmith, where you actually plug in a real guitar and it teaches you how to learn, or it teaches you how to play guitar. Yeah. I think that is pretty damn cool, but I'm not really into learning to play a plastic guitar again. It was fun the first time, but
that whole Guitar Hero and all, Rock Band, they both inspired everyone to go back to motion control. That's what inspired the whole thing. Oh, people like this stuff. They like doing things like this. We're going to make it real. And then I'm still waiting for that motion control to take off. It might happen soon. I don't know yet, but it's still, I don't know.
Never happens. No way. Pipe dream.
So, I think that it's pretty much done for us, but, like, I mean, there's still people that buy it, but, like, to say the whole, like, what it was before, the craze that it was before, that everyone had it for no reason sometimes, like, people that you don't even know had it just had it.
They oversaturated, too, because they were releasing those things, like, every 6 months you'd see a new Guitar Hero, and Rock Band was, instead of just doing Rock Band and then doing DLC, they came out with Rock Band 2, Rock Band Beatles, Rock Band AC/DC, Rock Band...
the Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
Guitar Hero Metallica, Guitar Hero Van Halen. Like, there were so many.
It was just too much, and people. I think they killed their own market, you know. But whatever.
But guys, what if they came out and it was a first-person VR experience using the Oculus Rift in the Project Morpheus? Wouldn't that be amazing, though?
Can I do stage? Can I stage dive? Can I stage dive into the crowd?
There's just nobody to catch you.
Yeah, and then the virtual reality, you like jump out into the crowd, and they're like,
Call the ambulance. No, Brian, if this does make it to PS4 and Xbox One, and it's as big as it used to be, as long as you invite me out to some of those skin parties that you used to go to, and everybody was playing in the nude, I'll play it. Yeah.
Those are my little secret, my friend.
Man, where'd you get that guitar?
All right, guys, that's going to do it for the show, I think. Like we said before, we will be live streaming a Crota's Ed Normal Road raid on Destiny. We got room for, I think, 1 or 2 subscribers. So, Robbie, are you going to stream it this time?
I'm thinking about it. I don't know. Is there any real point?
I'll definitely stream it. If you want to watch, I'll stream it.
Yeah, I think you should just stream it, Briar. I'll let you do it.
If you would like to play, throw your PSN ID. We'll be playing on the PlayStation 4. Throw your PSN ID into either the chat here on the YouTube channel, or we'll be streaming over at Twitch. The link will be in the YouTube channel notes. I'll throw that in there very quickly as soon as I can find it. You can just put your PSN ID in there, and we'll pick you up. We'll get a raid going and have some fun. We'll probably start in about 10 minutes.
Yeah, we've got 5, so we need at least 1 more so you can be that lucky subscriber.
Yeah.
You at home.
Yeah. Anybody else got anything else they want to say before we go?
Yes. You guys check out the new Final Fantasy Dissidia video. There's a game that came out on PSP years ago called Final Fantasy Dissidia Duodecim, which is where all the Square Enix Final Fantasy, where all the Final Fantasy characters get together and they fight in a third-person. It's like an adventure third-person fighting game.
It sucked.
PSP. No, it didn't. It was voted the best PSP game. But
just kick it while it's down, bro.
They have a new
strong competition on the PSP
that they've just released video up, and it's actually coming to arcades in Japan. It's just called Final Fantasy Dissidia, and it looks so good. It looks PS4, Xbox One quality, and we're trying to get them to actually bring that to consoles. It looks phenomenal. So you guys check that out. It's on YouTube. Just let us know what you think in the comments below.
All right.
Anybody else? That's it.
Yeah, I think we're good.
All right. Again, I will put a link to the live stream for Destiny in the description of this video, and we'll see you guys next week, or we'll see it on the Twitch stream.
Thank you for watching.